Welcome to my coffee channel. I am Thomas, and today I am going to be reviewing a coffee from Volcanica Coffee. Actually, I've reviewed this company a few times. I really didn't want to do another Volcanica review, but I really wanted to review a Sulawasi Toraja CBs. And when I was looking on the internet trying to find a decent one, it was very difficult to find. It was about, I think Volcanica was the only one I found that actually had a Sulawasi right now. Must be out of season, but anyway, I got this from Volcanica. Volcanica's always great. They always send me a bunch of samples to go with it. I was going to review all of these. I don't want to keep doing Volcanica reviews, so nothing wrong with Volcanica. It's just, I'm trying to give other companies a shot. I'll probably just do a blind company in all three of these later on. Anyway, this is from Volcanica. It does, I think they do have a roast on date. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh yeah, it does have a roast on date. And anyway, it's a Sulawasi. It says it's a medium roast. This is a second wave coffee, i.e. it's from a region versus just a farm, a single estate. Anyway, I'm going to cup it. I'm going to pull shots. I'm going to cold brew it. And I'm going to score it on my SEA scorecard and let you know how good this is and whether I recommend it. And a quick note, sorry about being slow about putting out videos. Everybody, if you follow my channel, you know I was in Thailand for a month. Then I came back, and I was a very lucky guy, and I got COVID when I came back. Even though I was vaccinated, it wasn't that bad. I was still sick for about a week with it. Anyway, and the taste buds were kind of messed up, so I didn't want to review anything. But anyway, everything is good. I'm fully healthy, and I am going to analyze the roast on it. Then we're going to cup it and go from there. Be right back. Okay, I got my setup already. I got 10 grams, medium grind. Got my water, 200 degrees. I'm going to let this steep for a few minutes, about 14 minutes. I'm not really getting much bloom off of this coffee. A little bit. The package says it was roasted about 2 weeks ago. Should be good. Anyway, we're going to let this steep for about 14 minutes. I did my roast analysis on this coffee. It was a 45 on the whole bean, a 54 on the ground, which makes it a relatively long, slow roasted coffee. 45, 54 puts it in the medium to medium dark range. Just from my visual observation, the beans were very oily. That would signify a full city roast to me. On the fragrance, dry fragrance, it had chocolatey, maple, hints of cherry. Not real sweet, but just hints of that maple sort of cherry sweetness in the aroma. Anyway, I'm going to let this sit for about 14 minutes. I'm going to do a pH reading, let you know how that is, and then we're going to cup it, and then I'm going to pull a shot, and I'll be right back. Anyway, while you're done, I pulled a pH reading on this coffee. It was a 550, which sort of a medium on acidity. That's to expected since it's a darker roasted coffee. The darker you go, the low or less acidic it becomes, in the taste anyway. Let's give it a taste. Sort of sweet maple aroma. Sort of a very dark, bold intensity to it, chocolatey. You can taste the roast in this coffee. Sort of a very intense, bold mouthful. Not much sweetness. You can taste a little sweetness in it still. Most of the sweetness has been roasted out. This isn't called a French roast, but it has a very strong, bold, what I would call a French roast, intense taste. But I find that to be true for most what I would call Indonesian coffees like Sumatra, Java, Sulawesi in particular. Anyway, I am going to review this coffee, giving my score on it, and I'll be right back. I'm going to pull a shot. Okay, let's pour a shot and see how it does. This is not an espresso coffee, not designated as an espresso coffee, but you all know I like to pour shots. I always get comments that my shots are not always perfectly timed out. You know, it's difficult, you know, when you're doing like a lot of different coffees, you know, trying to tune the grinder to exactly. But I do try to aim for about a 25-30 second pull on a 15 gram shot, about 25 seconds, 20 anyway. Fairly nice crema. Sort of a sweet, kind of hints of maple aroma coming off of it. Nice aroma. Sort of dark, bold, intense, big mouthful. You know, in terms of, you know, this would probably blend very good for an espresso. It's not a bad espresso the way it is. Probably could use a little more, like maybe Brazilian, some Costa Rican, something to give it a little more sweetness, a little more acidity to it. But not a bad shot. Not a bad shot at all. Anyway, I'm going to keep sampling this. I'm going to score it on my scorecard. I have some cold brew brewing. Should be up in about 10 hours. And I will be back with my score and that cold brew shortly. Be right back. Welcome back. It's been about 10 hours. My cold brew's ready. We're going to sample it. And then I'm going to give you my score on this coffee. I'm just going to try a little bit of it. Nice color. It's been about 10 hours. Cold brewing. Very sort of smoky smell to it. Very intense. Very French roasty. You know, very, you know, you taste the roast a lot when you go into a darker. Like I said, this is a full city. It's not a French roast, but my experience on cold brews, the darker roasts, you tend to get more of the roast taste in the coffee. I mean, if you like that heavy roast, heavy, big mouthful, then this is a good cold brew for you. For me, I think I prefer the lighter roast, more fruity. I don't know why my old lab, you know, meaning he's about 15 years old, I don't know why he likes to talk so much. Sorry for him talking in the background. But anyway, Sulawasi is one of my favorite coffees. I haven't had any in a long time, like I said before. This was difficult to find. I don't know why it was so difficult to find. I only found one or two on the internet. It was about $20, $21, about $25, $26 with shipping. This is a 1 pound bag. But anyway, let me give you my score on this coffee. On aroma, I gave it an 8. It was very maple, light, sweet, cherry, hints of chocolate. Flavor, I found it very flavorful, gave it an 8. Aftertaste, you know, had a very big, lasting aftertaste. I gave it a 9. Because it was a darker roast, it is going to have less acidity, so I gave it a 7. Same thing on sweetness. Darker you go, the more sugars you burn up, more they caramelize. Gave it a 7. Bitterness, found nothing bitter, nothing bad about it at all, so I gave it a 10. Had a big mouthful, gave it a 9. Balance, like I said, not as sweet, you know, this is a darker roast. I gave it an 8, still very good. There was no defects, nothing odd with this coffee, gave it a 10. Overall, I gave it an 8. Very nice drinking coffee, particularly if you like a full city medium roast coffee. Second wave coffee, you know, if you're average, you know, if you don't like the so-called third wave fruity, more of the old school coffees, this is probably the one for you, or very good for you. Anyway, my overall score in this coffee was 84. And like I said, the 84, I don't think it really does it justice, just because, you know, when you go darker roast, like I said, I just said, you're going to have less acidity, less sweetness, which brings down the overall score. Still extremely good. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. Pretty well recommended. I guess it was kind of pricey, but at 25, 26 for a pound. But there really wasn't much else to choose from at this moment. I don't know why. But anyway, that is my review for this week. Thanks for watching the channel. Have a great day, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.